A fireman, to be successful, must enter buildings. He must get in below, above, on every side. From opposite houses, over back walls, over side walls, through panels of doors, through windows, through loopholes, through skylights, through holes cut by himself in the gates, the walls, the roof. He must know how to reach the attic from the basement by ladders placed on half-burned stairs, and the basement from the attic by a rope made fast on a chimney. His whole success depends on his getting in and remaining there, and he must always carry his appliances with him, as without them he is of no use. So wrote Sir Eyre Massey Shaw in his book Fires and Fire Brigades. These words, though penned over a century ago, are as true now as on the day they were written. No two fires are alike is an old and very true fire service saying, and therefore technical knowledge must be backed up by intelligence and the ability to grasp the fundamentals of a situation, to initiate a plan of action, and to improvise on the spur of the moment.
Let's wheel!
This first drill simulates the basic bread and butter work of the fire brigade, a fire involving a 3-storey building with 2 persons trapped. There is no time to think. Every action must be automatic. The drill must run as smoothly as a well-oiled machine. The orders must be heard above the noise of the fire, the sound of the engine, the crowd, and even the casualties. Men must be capable of doing this drill in total darkness, high winds, driving rain and snow. Their teamwork must even outclass that of our great Everton football team. One man is trapped on the roof of the tower, and a turntable ladder will be used to effect his rescue. Another is trapped in the lift motor room above a projecting shop. A 13.5 metre ladder, 45 foot, has been pitched to the roof of the shop to gain access. 2 men wearing breathing apparatus have entered the building. A branch has been brought to bear to cover their rescue attempt. Meanwhile, the turntable ladder crew have carried a Paragard stretcher to the tower roof, secured the casualty to the stretcher, and started to effect his rescue. At this point, the classic fireman's lift is not employed, but instead we demonstrate one of our many techniques to bring a casualty to terra firma. No, sir, it's all right. This is all under control. Please don't get involved. Must be a Liverpudlian. Will he know what to do? Will he raise the alarm as he should do? What's he doing now? Reading the instructions? Better late than never, I suppose. But does he realise what he's doing? It's the wrong type of extinguisher. No, failed again. Water and oil fires don't mix. Oh no, he's got his bucket of water with him now. He intends to have a go. I told you. Now the correct methods of dealing with fires involving flammable liquids. The one on the left will be extinguished using a fog applicator branch. Water in the form of a fine spray will be applied to the fire, whilst the fire on the right will be extinguished using foam from an FB5X foam making branch. Once again, all the orders must not only be heard above the sound of the fire, but must be repeated to ensure that no mistakes are made. At first, water will be projected from the branch on the right. It must not be directed onto the oil fire until foam has started to flow from it. Been induced from the inductor, the foam blanket may now be applied to smother the fire. At the same time, the water fog spray will extinguish the boiling liquid fire to the left. The men must continue to apply the water spray until they are satisfied that the liquid has been cooled well below its ignition temperature. Once again, it is essential that all equipment is returned to the appliance speedily. One never knows where the next call will come from. The appliance on the left is an ERF water temp. Priority number one is to protect the scene of the accident to prevent further casualties. Hence the use of cones and signs, some of which would have been placed up to half a mile away. Lights may be positioned and a dry powder fire extinguisher used to control the spread of fire. Yet even while this takes place, the team has not forgotten the casualties. Far from it, a man has already checked for signs of life. A comforting word here and there will prevent the onset of shock. The equipment which is used to break open the door is the Lucas hydraulic rescue gear. It has a spreading force of over 3 tons and a cutting force of over 12 tons. It will make short work of door hinges, steering columns and foot pedals. Even as the casualties are being released, first aid is being rendered. Each recruit a fully qualified first aider. Chains have been used to pull the steering wheel away from the casualty's chest, and at this moment the roof is being released prior to the release of the casualty. Care rather than time is the important factor, not wishing to cause any further injury to the casualty. Now, with room to work, the rescue party can release the casualty for immediate dispatch to a local hospital. Within the brigade, there are 3 purpose-built control unit emergency tenders, which carry all the equipment you've seen here and much more, from equipment to test for explosive atmospheres to radiation monitoring equipment. Chemical resistant suits. The pump on the left has been set into open water, simulating a canal or river, and a ground monitor and curtain branch will be supplied with water. The pump on the right will be set into a street hydrant and will supply in turn another ground monitor in the form of a curtain branch and a monitor at the head of a turntable ladder. Turntable ladder having been sighted, a safe working platform. The monitor at the head of the turntable ladder is capable of projecting 300 gallons of water per minute onto the fire. working, there will be 300 tons of water per hour being applied to the firehouse. Every fireman is capable of carrying out each of the operations you've seen performed here today. There are no specialists in the fire brigade. Each is a jack of all trades, and we are proud to say, a master of each and every one. It is, after all, only a part of the brigade. Until it is supported by units from other stations, the men... A fireman is a very special person. For most of his operational life, he will be moving into areas that other people are evacuating. From periods of quiet routine on his station, he will suddenly be thrust into dangerous and varied situations. At these incidents, people will turn to him and expect him to know what to do, when perhaps others have failed. The next time you see a fire appliance en route to an incident, spare a thought for the men who are on board. They will be tense and full of apprehension, for in many cases, they will not know what they are about to face. There can be few worse experiences than that of hearing a distraught mother screaming for the lives of her children, or having to work surrounded by death and disfigurement to release trapped people. Through all of this, the well-trained fireman will be required to make
decisions. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Chief Officer and the Officer of the Brigade, welcome to the passing out parade of Recruit Course 286. The Chief Officer is unable to attend due to an urgent meeting. He sends his apologies and good wishes for the recruits passing out today. As Assistant Chief Officer Support Services, one of my references is recruiting. And to give you some background of the work that's gone into producing this recruit course, I'd like to give you the following information. Some time ago, the Brigade advertised for operational members, and some 3,000 men applied to come into this job. Now, I've said men, there were also 1 or 2 women applied to come in. Of that 3,000, about 1,200 were rejected on their applications. The remainder came to the tests here at the training station. Of that, some 200 to 300 passed, and of those 200 to 300, Theo Bickley and myself, as you will know, interviewed each and every one. From that, we came down to 14 men, and that consisted of course 286. Of that 14 men, we have 9 survivors. So you men now represent what is left of 3,000 plus applications. Over the last 16 weeks, the staff here at the training station have, in my opinion, converted you from a group of individuals into a well-trained, cohesive organisation that will go forward in this brigade, hopefully for the next 30 or 40 years. To the recruits, I would offer a word or two of advice. 2 ways in this job: it can become a job, or it can become a career. If it becomes a career, you can go to the very top. Sir Peter Darby, the Chief Home Office Inspector, is about to retire, and he started as a fireman. So there could be a knighthood and a Chief Fire Officer's job for any one of you in the next 30 or 40 years. It's there for the taking if you want it, aim for it. Whichever path you choose, remember one thing: you represent Merseyside Fire Brigade, the busiest and best equipped brigade in the country. I wish you well in your future and hope each and every one of you take the advice I've given. Thank you. I now have the pleasant duty to perform, and that is to present the prize for the best recruit. Now, nobody knows who the best recruit is except the man who filled this envelope. None of you know, I hope. The best recruit for recruit course 286 is fireman 2749 Webb. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That now concludes this passing out parade.
But old Anthony Barrow is still critically ill.